Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hellacious Hero Returns. I am Hellacious Hero Joe, and in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this suit and why I don't have my glasses on, a lot of people have told me I look like Kit Harington, aka Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, or Keanu Reeves, aka what this episode is going to be about today, John Wick. Look at that face. Keanu? John Wick? What do you guys think? John Wick? John Wick? Don't worry. It's empty. It's not loaded. It's not loaded. It's clear. It's clear. There's nothing in the chamber. This particular gun, as you can see here, says King Cobra. This is a Colt King Cobra. It's a 6-inch stainless steel revolver, 6-shot. It can shoot 357 Magnum rounds or 38 special rounds. I've been target shooting with my dad for a really long time, and if you guys aren't familiar from previous episodes, I talked about briefly, I work in law enforcement, so shooting and target practice and things like that is something I'm really passionate about. I really do enjoy it. I have several guns, 5 that I primarily use for concealed carry and all that kind of stuff, and then I have a few other ones I use for just target shooting, and some rifles, AR-15s, AK-47s, so on and so forth. But I'm more of a handgun kind of guy. This gun is worth a ton of money. This is an old 1980s model. It's probably worth, I'm going to say, $2,500 to $3,000. This gun I'm holding in my hand right now. It's my favorite gun I own. It's an incredible firearm. I love it. And it harkens back to all the old police movies that kind of what John Wick is based on. I'm going to put my glasses on here. The old spaghetti westerns, The Man with No Name. The movie's directed by Sergio Leone with Clint Eastwood. And the title role, speaking of Clint Eastwood, you go into Dirty Harry and his big, 44 Magnum, which was a Smith & Wesson. I have a few Smith & Wessons myself. But that whole kind of dynamic with martial arts and stuff is just tied to me. And I have a connection with Keanu Reeves, I think, because we're both born in September. We're both Virgos. That's my star sign. If you're in astrology and that kind of thing. And I think it's really cool. I just think he's a really pure dude. He's just an awesome actor. I really, really love what he did in the Matrix movies. I mean, he rose to stardom there. A couple other things outside of John Wick and the Matrix that I love that he was in. Obviously he was kind of not really a strong character in Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I do like his Jonathan Harker in that. But 47 Ronin, that movie, he played Kai. And the movie he directed with Tiger Chen, who was his martial arts instructor through the Matrix movies, Man of Tai Chi. He played like an evil villain character named Donica Mark, who was just a really cool character. And Keanu Reeves is actually a martial arts practitioner in real life too. He practices Tai Chi. So I think that's kind of cool. We're going to talk about this really cool comic book by Greg Pak. I mean, look at the resemblance. Look at the hair. It's uncanny, right? Right? But yeah, and also, of course, obviously, I'm a collector, right? So I have this really cool John Wick figure. This is from John Wick 2, when he goes to Rome, in Italy. I love the smoking gun there. The candles are lit. I love the old black too, the vest. It's just so cool. The old black attire, that's why I'm wearing all black too, is just awesome to me. I love that design. I love the way that looks. So epic with John Wick. But if you guys haven't got a chance to see the John Wick movies, please check them out. They are incredible. Like I mentioned earlier, if you like the old Chinese Hong Kong kung fu movies, in particular, there's a scene in John Wick 2 near the very end where he's in this like gallery of mirrors, and when I saw that in theaters, it reminded me, and even when I watch it today, I rewatched the movie, It reminds me of Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, where he fights at the end in the Gallery of Mirrors, and the guy has the claw thing, and he's trying that, and he gets cut across the chest. That is such a callback to that, and such a throwback to those movies. And in John Wick 3, the villain Zero, who's a ninja, Japanese ninja, martial arts practitioner, who uses a wakizashi sword to cut Lawrence Fishburne's character, the king of the Bowery. He gives him 7 cuts with the wakizashi. That's just symbolic of martial arts and that whole thing. And wakizashi is the smaller sword, obviously, right? The katana's the bigger sword, nihonto, Japanese. And then they're a pair. In feudal Japan and ancient Japan, samurais would carry the big katana and the small wakizashi. And a lot of the times they would use the wakizashi for the harakiri or seppuku, the honorable way to kill themselves. It happens at the end of 47 Ronin, like I mentioned. They get an honorable death. But outside of my rambling here, let's continue with John Wick. And Chad Stahelski, the guy who directed the 3 films, is just incredible. David Leitch helped him with the first one, and David Leitch went on to do Deadpool 2. So action sequences are something those guys are really awesome at. And, they're just incredible films. The first movie, in my opinion, out of all 3 of those, is the best. I think, just as a solid whole, John Wick, the first movie. The first movie is just the best. 2 is really good. 3 is really good. And then the 4th movie is coming out in May of 2022, I believe. And I read an article the other day where I think Keanu said he would do 5 films in the John Wick Film Series, and then he's probably going to be done with the character after that. He wants to move on to other things. So we're at least getting 5 John Wick films, which is awesome. He must really, really love the character, because Keanu isn't really a guy who does a lot of sequels. Bill and Ted, the new movie's coming out. But, that was 20-some years ago. Almost 30 years ago when he did the last one. So he's been doing these John Wick films in concession. And other than the Matrix stuff, and he's doing Matrix 4, obviously, which is coming up, he's not really done too many sequel things. So it's going to be really cool to see what they do with that. And, I'm really looking forward to that. But, as I mentioned earlier, the John Wick comic book, and this is like a prequel to the movies. This is kind of like his origin story. It's written by Greg Pak, and the art is done by Giovanni Valletta and Matt Gaudio. So, really, really cool. This is an origin story, like I mentioned, about John. This is before the first movie. He starts learning about the Continental and the rules to be an assassin and doing that kind of stuff. And it's a really, really good work. And as I always do, I'm going to show you guys some art inside and some variants. You definitely need to check it out if you're a fan of John Wick, the film series, if you're a fan of Keanu Reeves. Keanu is coming out with his own comic book called Berserker through Boom Studios. It's coming out at the end of this year. Definitely get a chance to hit that up and check that out if you get time. It looks badass, and the character, the Berserker, looks like Keanu, so you get that really cool Keanu character in there. But let's dive into John Wick from Dynamite, the guys who did Red Sonja, Deja Thoris. They now have the Lady Death stuff, the Purgatory stuff, all that awesome stuff. So let's dive in and look at this. That's cover 2. As you can see, it says up there. Cover 1 is the exact same thing as the actual cover of the book. But that's cover 2. Soaked in blood. Fire in his gun. Semi-automatic handgun. All souped up and tweaked out, though, with, all the high mod stuff that you would get. The art is awesome. Character code Calamity. Pretty cool. You gotta read it, check it out. I will not spoil it for you. Photo from the movie. Second one. Fire's cool. Love that one. There's the back. See the resemblance? But that pretty much sums it up for the book by Dynamite. I just wanted to show you guys. It's a really short story. It's not very long at all. Like I said, if you get a chance to pick it up, I think you can get the hardcover for like $15, $14, which is a steal. Amazing content. Like I said, if you love John Wick, if you love the movies, what I'd like to do next after John Wick is kind of try to do some live streaming stuff. I've been talking with some really cool people. Frangie Vigilante, Stay Puft 1983, Sanimation 05, Newbie Comics. I've been watching some of his streams. Follow them in this banner down here. It's ticking across there. Do you see it? Follow those people. They're great people. They've shown me a lot of cool stuff. They're out there to support me. VV, thanks again, man, for the shout out with that and get me on that shout out Saturday show. I really appreciate that, man. But it's nice for me to do this show and to look like Keanu Reeves and to look like John Wick. I mean, glasses are off again, right? Do I look like him? Get the gun. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Is that a good impersonation? I tried. My Keanu's not that great. I appreciate you all very much. Thanks for hitting up the show, for liking the show. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button down here at my icon. There's a picture of my face. Click that. You can subscribe using that. Like I said, in the future, I want to start doing some streaming. Maybe talk about some martial arts stuff, some Japanese history with Sanimation 05, because we talked about maybe doing a stream on some movies, some Japanese or martial arts themed movies, because we both like that kind of thing. I'm really stoked for that. I'm excited for that. Remember, I am the hero you deserve, and I am the hero you need right now. Always do you. Check out John Wick. Check out Keanu Reeves. Until next time, my friends.